Hey scholars, this is going to be our last ELA lesson for week 22. This will be lesson 2. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to read a story. Oh, wait, actually I don't share my screen that way because it's actually on the computer. So let me go ahead and pull it up on the computer. Okay, there we go. All right, we're just going to read the poem Gray Goose, and we're going to go over a couple things from this poem. So this is a rhyming poem. What we're going to do is we're going to read the story, and then we'll talk about how it's similar to or different to Beatles and the Little Turtle. Gray Mama Goose in a Tizzy. Actually, we'll start reading now, okay? Gray Goose by Julie Larios. Gray Mama Goose in a tizzy, honk honk honking, herself dizzy. Can't find her gooseling, she's honking and running, web feet slapping, all wild waddle. Her feathers a muddle, splashing through puddles, wings flapping, ah, that's her baby, all fuzz, napping. Yeah, so this story kind of sounds a little like a song. So let's reread the first 3 lines and see what rhymes. Gray Mama Goose in a tizzy, honk honk honking, herself dizzy. Are there any words that rhyme in that sentence or in those 3 lines? Well, tizzy and dizzy rhyme. How about some other words? Well, if we go through the rest of them, there's muddle and puddles, slapping, flapping, and napping, all that kind of stuff. So there are rhymes in the sentence. So this is a rhyming poem. So a poem's rhythm is a pattern of the beats. So we're going to clap the beats in line 5, 6, and 7. And how many beats do you hear? So 5, 6, and 7. So we're going to start at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So she's honking and running. So there's 6. All wild waddle. There's 4. Her feathers a muddle. There's 4. So those are the beats that you can hear. And we'll do some of that in class too. And so if we reread the last 4 lines of the poem, let's see what the baby's like. Well, there's her gold baby, all fuzz, napping. What is the baby like? Well, the baby is gold and fuzzy. And how does the gooseling act differently than its mother? Well, the mom's kind of freaking out because she thinks she lost her baby. So if we look, the gooseling is just napping, just relaxing. So the mom's going crazy and the goose is just napping. All right, very good. So we're going to go ahead and go to the next part of our lesson, which is going to require me to stop my share. We're going to be talking about compound words. So while I flip to the right page, I want you to think in your head, what is a compound word? Okay, well, we already went over this compound word section, which is kind of funny. So we're going to do root words. So we had 2 things checked off the list pretty quickly. All right. So remember, I'm going to share my screen for this. And I want you to remember with a root word, it's the basic form of a word to which a prefix, suffix, or ending has been added. So when you see a word, when you see an unfamiliar word, you can figure out the meaning of the root word by looking at a word of what they know. So I'm going to write 3 examples on my board. So we have thankful. We have flapping. We have unlock. So what I want to do is I want to separate the root from the ending suffix or the beginning prefix. We're going to underline each word and explain how we can use the root word to figure out the meaning of a longer word. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to underline the root word and I'm going to circle the prefix or the suffix. Remember, the root word is the actual word, the thing that can stand on its own. So in thankful, what word can stand on its own? Well, thank can stand on its own. I can thank you for being a great student and watching this video. And then we would circle full because full is not a word. It is a suffix, a part of a word. We can do the same thing with flapping. So we have flap. Flap is our root and ing is our suffix. What's interesting about flapping is that this extra P is added from the suffix, so it's technically not part of the root word. And then in your guys' Seesaw journals, I want you to, number 1, open up Seesaw. Number 2, after you open up Seesaw, I want you to answer the question I'm going to tell you. What is the root word in unlock? And number 3, keep Seesaw open because I'm going to ask you another question at the end of the video. All right, so go ahead and figure out the root word of unlock and pause the video until you do, and then come on back when you're ready. I'm going to go ahead and flip to my next part of my lesson in my book. And then after that, we will start again. Okay, so welcome back. Now we're going to talk about possessive nouns. Remember what a possessive noun is. When you have possession of something, it means you own it. Or when somebody else has possession of something, it means they own it. So, possessive nouns show who or what owns something. To make a singular noun possessive, we have to add an apostrophe and an S to the end of a noun. To make a plural noun possessive, we need to add an apostrophe after the final S. So this one is singular, would be cats. So one cat's toy. But plural would be two cats' toys. So we're going to do a little bit of practice in the inside. This was just a little reminder of what possessive nouns are. So when we come back in class, we'll do a little bit of practice with that. But we need to talk about some mechanics with apostrophes, though, before we end our video. So when a singular possessive noun has an apostrophe and an S at the end, a plural noun has an apostrophe after the final S. A plural possessive noun that does not end in an S has an apostrophe and an S at the end. So I'm going to write some sentences on the board and we're going to talk about which ones are correct. A cat's or cat's whiskers help it feel around. Perfect. All right. And then the next one, oh, actually, that was part of the sentence. Next one, the Cubs mother watched them closely. And finally, the woman or women or women's cats jumped on the sofa. All right. So a cat's whiskers help it feel around. So how many cats are we talking? Well, it says a, right? What does a mean? A means one cat. So if it's one cat's whiskers, we need to have the apostrophe before the S. All right. The cub's mother watched them closely. So is this singular or plural? Are the cubs singular? Are there a lot of cubs or one cub? There's multiple cubs because it says them. So because it says them, we have to have the apostrophe after the S. All right, the women's cats jumped on the sofa. Women's is plural, but women does not usually end with an S. So since it doesn't usually end with an S, we put the apostrophe before. That's the only exception when the plural does not end with an S. All right, good. Let's see. So overall, that's what we're going to be going over today. I appreciate your guys' time. I appreciate all your hard work for watching this video. And I hope you guys have a great day. Don't forget to submit your Seesaw assignment. Bye.